The Karlsruhe we have in-game is a Königsberg-class light cruiser. Confusingly, there were three different Königsberg classes of light cruisers within a 20-year period. The first was much like the Kolberg we have in Tier 3, launched in 1912 and armed with 12 105mm guns. The second class included the Karlsruhe we have in Tier 4, launched in 1916 and sported 8 15cm guns. The final Königsberg class is Warships Tier 5 and was launched in 1929 under the guise of a training cruiser. This class is often abbreviated the K class to avoid confusion with the World War I Königsbergs. So the ship we're going to be focusing on today is the 1916 Karlsruhe. The ship weighed just over 7,000 tons, produced 31,000 SHP from its propulsion systems, which moved it along at a top speed of 27.5 knots. The ship was armed with 8 15cm SKL-45 guns and single pedestal mounts as its primary armament. Each gun was supplied with just 130 rounds of ammunition. Secondary armament, which is two 8.8cm L-45 guns. Some sources call these simply AA guns, but they were probably dual purpose as they are in warships. There were also 4 torpedo tubes and 2 twin mounts on either side of the ship. Each tube was supplied with 2 torpedoes, making a total of 8 torpedoes on board the ship. Karlsruhe also had the ability to carry 200 mines. Thus, we can see that the historical Karlsruhe matches the A-hull Karlsruhe in warships, the B-hull being a fictional upgrade that gives it an extra 8.8cm gun and 2 more sets of torpedoes. Karlsruhe's armor consisted of a 60mm thick belt and deck, and the conning tower was covered in 100mm. Karlsruhe never got to see much action. She was commissioned in December 1916, long after the most famous naval action of the war at Jutland. Karlsruhe's first glance, and particular emphasis on glance here, at action was on August 16, 1917. Karlsruhe was part of a protection force for a group of German minesweepers when they spotted a British force of 3 light cruisers and 16 destroyers. The Germans promptly took a hint from brave Sir Robin and bravely ran away, using smoke screens to cover their escape. In September 1917, the Germans took control of the Russian port of Riga. Then they planned Operation Albion, which was a joint assault by the Army and the Navy to eliminate the remaining resistance around Riga. Karlsruhe was to support the naval component, flagship by the battlecruiser Moltke. Operation Albion began on October 12th. Karlsruhe's most important contribution to the operation ended up once again being to protect German minesweepers. However, bad weather and a lack of minesweepers quickly brought these operations to a halt. By October 20th, Operation Albion had achieved its goals, and Karlsruhe and the rest of the participating fleet were ordered back to the North Sea. In October 1918, Karlsruhe and several other cruisers were set to participate in the last desperate suicide gamble by the German High Seas Fleet. Karlsruhe was part of a group that was to bombard the Flanders sector in Belgium, while another group of cruisers were to attack merchant ships in the Thames estuary in order to draw the British fleet into a final battle. It was believed that this action would give Germany a slightly better position in negotiations when the war ended. The order was given to set sail on October 29th. However, on that night, sailors on many battleships mutinied, and the operation was forced to be cancelled. After the war ended, most of the German High Seas Fleet, including Karlsruhe, was taken to the Royal Navy's home base at Scapa Flow, while the Treaty of Versailles was being negotiated, and was under the command of Rear Admiral Ludwig von Reuter. Von Reuter thought that the British intended to seize the ships if the treaty was not signed by the deadline of June 21, 1919. He had ordered the fleet to be scuttled as soon as possible, not knowing that the treaty deadline had been extended to June 23rd. On the morning of June 21st, the British fleet left Scapa Flow on training maneuvers, and von Reuter gave the word. Karlsruhe sank at 15:50, which to people on 12-hour clocks is 3:50 p.m. Unlike most of the German fleet wrecks, Karlsruhe was never raced and sold for scrap, and today it remains a popular diving site as are the other 9 wrecks of the German fleet that remain in Scapa Flow.
Weit lass die Fahnen